Encounter is brought to you by the Broome County Council of Churches, where we connect compassion with needs as we inspire growth with dignity. You'll find us in special places throughout the community. For those who remain hungry, we provide meals. For those who are challenged, we build wheelchair ramps. We comfort those who are ill, minister to those who are confined, and we remain an advocate for change and understanding on behalf of every element of our community. Connect and inspire. Encounter the Broome County Council of Churches.
Friends, welcome to the Encounter program sponsored by the Broome County Council of Churches. I'm your host today, Mark Kimpland, the pastor at the Endwell United Methodist Church. Today, we're going to explore a few different ministries that are happening in this community and around our nation. And we have with us today someone who is on the other side of the microphone, someone who is very familiar with the Encounter program, who has hosted many, many programs before. And I'd like to welcome Dave Alexander to the Encounter program.
Thank you.
Welcome back. How's it feel?
Oh, just great.
Fantastic. I'm glad you're with us. Today we're going to talk about the Redbird Mission. Redbird Mission has really been creating traction in this area and in the Northeast, and Dave is a major part of this. And I have a confession that I need to share before we get started. Being in ministry for many years, I had never really understood what Redbird Mission was all about. I'd seen it maybe in bulletin boards or pamphlets and such things in different churches, but it wasn't until I came to Endwell that I really got a grasp because of the work that you're doing with the Redbird Mission. So I want to thank you for educating me on this very, very important ministry. So let's begin with our viewers and listeners. What can you tell us? What is the Redbird Mission?
Well, the Redbird Mission is one of three missionary sites of the United Methodist Church. It's wholly funded by the the Methodist Church. They have no other funding but what the churches give them. They're located in Beverly, Kentucky, and they're way out.
Yeah.
It's like a whole different world going down there. The people that are working there are very dedicated people that are there to serve. I guess they had a calling from God that this is something they should do. And they work with so many people in that area. It's the few years we've been down there, you see the people that come and go, and the poverty level is, I think the lady told us, most of them, if they make $7,500 a year, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
You wonder how anybody can live like that. It's
Yes.
just, it's not, to me, I don't know how, I mean, even up here, I mean, between welfare and everything else, people make a heck of a lot more money than what they
Yes.
live there. And it's sad. I mean, they live in shacks. I mean, even last December when we went down, as we were driving in the roads, you still see the outhouses that they use for bathrooms. A couple of years ago, we actually saw people washing their clothes in streams. So, I mean, it's just, you have this mission that's funded by the church. They ministry to the whole person, spiritually, physically, socially. They provide all types of services. They have a clinic, they have dental care, they have a store where people can come in that live in the area. They work or volunteer, and they get a coupon that's good to go into a store, and they can purchase clothing. They do sell some of the things, but you can go buy almost a brand new shirt for 25 cents or 50 cents.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're trying to better the life of the people there. It's just amazing. And in the 4 years now that I've done it, I'm seeing the same staff is there. It's not like you see a turnover.
Right. So they have continuity with
Right.
the structure then.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So-
What kind of radius are we talking about? Evidently, this is a ministry geared toward rural, poverty-stricken areas in Kentucky and such. How do you have an idea how far of a radius this goes out to?
They told us if you were to go out in the hills, they can travel as far as 150 miles from the mission
Really?
to where
Okay.
these people are. But once you get out, I mean, unfortunately, we have never had the chance when we were down there they were going to take us out on a tour to go up in the hills and actually see some of the things.
Yes.
Because they said that would, they told us we wouldn't believe what we were to see. I mean, we can't believe what we see when we just drive in.
Yes. Yeah.
Most of the people live on, there's lots of streams, so they live on the other side of a stream. So you get a lot of rain, they're stuck.
Yes.
They have to drive through the stream to get to the road, and the roads are very narrow. I mean, it used to be all coal mining, huge coal mines down there. I think there's one mine that's only run, not a lot. So all these people no longer have jobs. Now, I will share, each time we go down there, you sit down, you kind of talk with some of the people who are working. There was a young man who had to be in his 20s, and I had a conversation with him, and we're kind of talking to him, and I said, why don't you go someplace else? He says, oh no, he says, I grew up age 6, went and started working in the coal mine. Okay. Age 6.
Wow.
And he says, I've been out of the mines since probably at age 14. And I'm thinking, okay, health-wise, your health is improving because you're not breathing in the coal dust and everything.
Yeah.
And he says, they open up a mine, I'll be the first one to go back.
Wow.
He says,
Wow.
that's all I know. My family,
Yeah.
that's all we've ever done is work at a coal mine. So it's like they don't want to venture out from their comfort zone there. So.
Yeah. Now, as I understand, and what I've witnessed over the last 5 years, is that your role with this ministry has changed a little bit based on when I first met you and saw you. Can you kind of tell our viewers and listeners what is your role? What is it that you do as the driving force here with this Redbird mission?
Well, let's kind of go way back 7 or 8 years ago. There was a couple, Nelson and Paulette Toner. They and another couple used to, that was when it was the Wyoming conference, not part of the, wasn't Upper New York then. And they somehow got involved, and they started going around collecting shoe boxes, which had personal hygiene stuff in it. Endwell Methodist became a drop-off point for local churches to bring their shoe boxes, and then they'd come by usually the Saturday after Thanksgiving, pick them up, load them in a truck. A few years ago, Paulette called me and she said, Nelson, I want to come and talk to you, which I said, okay. So
that's a red flag.
That's definitely, they came, and she explained that she was beginning to have health issues and she had cancer. And she says, I can't do it anymore. And she said, I would really, you're the first person that I thought of that, could take it over. She said, you've always been gracious, made sure that had people there to help load and stuff. So my first comment to them is, I'm going to have to take some time and think about it. And I think that was probably like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. By 5 o'clock in the evening, I'm on the phone with them saying,
I'll do it.
I think God told me to do it.
Yes.
So got involved, and I said, okay, I can't do it by myself. And there happens to be a gentleman that lives across the street from the church. He goes to Central. I knocked on his door and I said, hey, you got to have some excitement in your retirement. So,
do I have something for you?
So the two of us, we felt, okay, we'll do the same thing they had done, contact the churches, and it was now Upper New York, but we did the Binghamton district, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, kind of said, okay, we'll contact all the churches there and see if we can't get them involved. And we drove around that first year, and we collected 1,500 shoe boxes. Now, the Toners, the most they'd ever taken was 741, so we kind of doubled it.
Yeah.
And Bill and I, that was our first experience. We went down to the Redbird Mission the Sunday after Thanksgiving, which was not a treat because everybody's going home from Thanksgiving. So, but we made it. And I probably scared Bill driving the truck when we got in the winding roads and all S-turns and everything. So we both talked when we came back, and we said we need to do some things differently. And started talking with some other people, and decided to open it up to all the churches in the Upper New York Conference. So
So
kind
you're
of,
talking, that's 850 churches
Right.
then? Yeah.
so I'm not sure how, it's not really a mission of the Upper New York. It's more like some of us people have taken this over. We want to continue it. The year we opened it up, we collected 3,800 shoe boxes, but we drove all over New York State.
Yes.
I mean, we went to
Yes.
Watertown, to Buffalo, all over. Probably 3,000 miles on a van from Central and a rental truck picking up
Yeah.
all this stuff. Brought it back to our church, stored it in our garage, and I was talking with some of the people there, and one of the young ladies that comes to our church said, "Dave, I think I can help you out." So she came down and took piles of 5 and shrink wrapped them. What a blessing.
Yes.
Now you could pick up these shoe boxes
Yes.
and away you go. So, that worked out good. We ended up with 2 26-foot trucks and went down. There was 4 of us, well, 5 of us, because we had the central van following us down to bring us back. So the next year we decided, okay, we've got to improve a little bit more, cut down on the running around.
Yes.
So we did make arrangements with the Upper New York Conference, moved into their new center in Liverpool. They have a big storage area, so we were fortunate to get a lot of the churches to say, okay, we'll bring everything to Liverpool.
Yes.
So that made it easier. We weren't running all over. We still made some trips, but not as many. Then the young lady that was wrapping says, well, I have a friend that owns Nelcor Electric, and he's just bought what used to be the old Endicott lumber and box. So he's got this whole building. We're going to go over and see him. So the 2 of us went over, we talked to him, and we ended up getting space there to store all the shoe boxes, which that was really a
Yes.
blessing. We
Yes. Yeah.
had all this.
Quite a bit bigger than the garage.
Oh, it was, and it was a blessing because now we could sort things.
Yes. Yes.
So we,
Yeah.
now this past year, when we went down, we only took 2,800 shoe boxes, but part of the problem was last year you had all the floods in Texas and all
Yes.
over, so a lot of churches wanted to do flood relief.
Right. Yeah.
But we still had the churches that did shoe boxes. But one of the things this past year, they have a need for bedding. The year before when we went down, they took us into a room and they had like 4 sets of sheets for kids and a few blankets. We had half a 26-foot truck just full of sheets, blankets, quilts, bedspreads. And when we got down there, this year when we went down, or this past year, there happened to be a group from North Carolina who were volunteering. It's the first time we've ever seen volunteers. They were helping to rebuild something. So they came over, they helped to unload all the trucks.
That's great.
They sorted everything, put everything away. Everything has to be, they put it in certain rooms by ages, by sex. So when they distribute it, they can go, this is a child, a boy or a girl, a man or a woman. So, and we filled this whole room with bedding, and they were in tears because they'd never seen that kind of
Yes.
bedding. Because they said most of these people down there, they had one blanket, one set of sheets. That's the only thing they had for a whole year. I mean,
Wow. Yeah.
whether they washed them,
Yeah.
who knows?
Right. Right.
So.
Friends, we're here today with Dave Alexander and talking about the Redbird Mission. Dave, I guess my last question before we take another tangent here is looking ahead. You've got a number of years under your belt actually going down and collecting all kinds of things from all over the state. What are you looking forward to, or what's the process now that perhaps viewers and listeners, here we are in March, could maybe be looking towards your next trip in December? What could